Hello y'all, this is Kaiserredux, a Hearts of Iron 4 mod that acts as an unofficial standalone expansion for the Kaiserreich mod. Kaiserreich is set in a world where the Central Powers won World War I. With that said, this video will act as part 1 of a Mountain Republic playthrough. We have started. Now let's go to our national overview. In this we can see that we have 3 national spirits, and they are Mountain Nation, Legacy of Shamil, and National Approval of Government. As for ruling ideology, we have social conservatism of the moderate authoritarian variety. The leader of the Mountain Republic is Tapa Chamayev, and historically he's also known as Abdulmajid Tapa Chamayev, and he was a Chechen statesman, general, oil magnate, and the first prime minister of the Mountainous Republic of the Northern Caucasus. He was in office from early May 1918 to December 1918. He fought in World War I and died in Switzerland in 1937. For some context in our timeline, the Mountainous Republic of the Northern Caucasus was one of many nations that it established itself in the breakup of the Russian Empire, and then later on it was absorbed into the USSR sometime approximately around the late 1910s and early 1920s. That was its fate, essentially. And so now let's go to our focus tree. Let's start doing Army of the Mountain Republic. This will take 49 days. It says here, our army is well tuned to mountainous guerrilla warfare and the old tactics of the Weltkrieg, but we will need to adapt and advance our schools of thought and modernize our equipment, or be left in the dust and routed from our mountain homes. Our army shall stand strong and proud after our reforms. Once this focus is done, we'll get 25 army experience, we'll get an event about the state of the army, and unlock some army reform decisions. So that would be great. And speaking of the army, our army is 8 divisions. I don't think we have a navy or an air force, but we have 8 divisions, and 3 of them are cavalry, 3 of them are mountaineers, and 2 are infantry. So let's select a bunch of our divisions now. Do all that. Let's put, say, 2 or no. Gotta split them up a little bit because we have a bunch of borders to look at, which is fun. Let me do it this way. Do it now. 8 divisions total. Move these units over here. Hold on. Do it this way. Yes. Watch Abkhazia, since I think we have a claim on that, even though it's currently at this time controlled by Georgia. Yes, we have a claim on Abkhazia, so that's going to be very interesting for us. So let's grab these divisions here, these mountaineers and infantry, and have them watch this particular part of the border with Georgia. That is done, and let's go to our research tree, start doing electronic mechanical engineering, as well as, say, basic machine tools and construction 1. Good. Free civilian factories, we have 3 we can essentially use. Start building another civilian factory in Terek. Get that done. Military factories, put 1 on rifles, 1 on support equipment, and 1 on artillery. We need more resources, don't we? We need steel, we need aluminum, and we need tungsten. That's unfortunate, but let's start training a division. Get that done there. Have them in the queue. Have them ready to deploy somewhere around Grozny. And now, once I speed things up a little bit for the in-game time, we're going to unpause and see what happens. We'll probably get some kind of background event for the country. There we go. History of the state. After the infamous events in Russia in 1925, along with the Don and the Kuban, the Mountain Republic once again appeared on the post-war world map. On the sly, former Minister of War and dictator of Dagestan, Nukbak Tarkovsky, gathered a militia and declared independence for the North Caucasus, calling on the Ottoman Empire for protection. Already soon, in the middle of 1926, the status of the Mountain Republic was fixed in international documents, along with official recognition by all the countries of the Reichspakt. The Reichspakt is the faction led by the German Empire in Kaiserredux, the Ottoman Empire, Georgia, and Azerbaijan. So those are all the countries that recognized the Mountain Republic. But moving on. The Mount Republic faced an imposed trade treaty with Germany and a significant contingent of Ottoman troops on its territory. The formal government, led by Topachamayev, an oil industrialist and millionaire, engaged in corruption over the following years, allowed the dictator Dagestan and his Camarilla to take the lead in the republic and subdue it. As long as Shambal Tarkovsky is in power, the Mount Republic has hardly any hope of a democratic future, and once the Turkish troops leave the region, its independence will be under direct threat. We are just trying to survive. So is he in charge? Is he? I don't know if he is. I'm not sure. Whatever. So Tabachamayev's, and he's the leader at this time. Not Nukbak Tarkovsky. I think he's a potential leader option though, but it says here, the Majlis of the Republic. Our union is divided into 7 national republics, united under one government, that is the Mountain Republic. As planned, the Majlis of the Republic, the main legislative body of our state, should be divided equally between 7 nationalities of the Union. However, in actuality, this principle of equality is constantly violated, with the government of Chamayev lobbying for Chechen majority in the Majlis. This has led to the situation where the majority of the bills approved in our council have been in favor of the Chechens. This has only further developed and enriched their region while leaving much of the rest of our union to rot. There are 2 main factions in the parliament vying for power to change this situation: the ruling coalition of Democrats, the SOG, and the opposition, consisting of a broad coalition of socialists. Interesting. So we have a special decision thing here. Okay, the Majlis. So we have the 7 peoples of the Mountain Republic, and they are the Chechens, the Ingush, the Dagestan peoples, the Associan peoples, the Balkars, the Circassians, and the Nogais. And we need support from all of them, effectively. So we need to spend political power on them to get them to like us. If support falls too bad for our country, that could potentially lead to something pretty dangerous. So we just need to make sure we have as much support as possible for all these people, for all these different peoples of the Mountain Republic. That is the game plan. I think there's an election in 1937 too, so that's why it is important that we get their support without a doubt. The 1936 Riga Winter Olympics have occurred. Okay, so we just gotta get this done. New oil field discovered. It says here, a new oil field has been discovered in the Tarak-dominated region around Grozny. As always, the exclusive mining rights have been quickly privatized by Prime Minister Chamayev and his oil company CNZ. With Chamayev's current power and fortune, no other upstart has a chance at getting into the oil business. The social equality continues in the Republic. From this, we lose base stability, political power, and we get some fuel, and we'll get some oil in Chechnya. And for all of the peoples in the Republic, their support will drop for the government, I guess. And we are a negative political power zone. That's not good. That's very bad. I need to worry about that, probably. And please, we just got to get over that. So Army of the Mountain Republic will be done soon. Just got to give it some time. And what is this about here? Let me read this. Duzhbajev criticizes the government. Our Minister of the Economy, Fazan Garli Durhashbajev, has, I'm butchering that pronunciation, but I'm trying, has openly criticized our government as a result of Chamayev's latest privatization of oil. He said that the oil privatization leads to further crisis of our country and poverty of its citizens. He will try to unite opposition politicians from the SOG party to form a new parliamentary bloc and oppose Chamayev. Our party splits apart. From this we lose 25 political power and also 2.50% base stability. So that is unfortunate. Now there's a rift in the ruling party of the Mountain Republic, which could be bad for Chamayev. But we are going to try and keep him in power. Cause, why not? And Army of the Mountain Republic, how's that going? We have 19 days left. Oh boy, 19 days left for that focus. And then after that, I suppose since we can't really do any more. Well, we may have to deal with Black Monday, potentially. Yet the Great Berlin stock market crash has occurred, so Black Monday is going to be on our mind, and that's an economic event that affects most countries in the world. Of Kaiserredux, electoral gridlock in France, okay. Alright, let me read this. Black Monday hits Mount Republic. The Berlin stock crisis has finally reached us as well. Many German investors have already withdrawn their assets from our country, with their government in Berlin also increasing their import rates. It seems we can only rely on ourselves now as the world crumbles under the unbearable weight of Black Monday, another crisis. And from this we get a very, very brutal national spirit called, unsurprisingly, Black Monday. And that is going to affect the Mount Republic from here on out. We will have to focus on recovering from that. We just bypassed a focus called dealing with Black Monday. Good, we just got to get Army of the Mount Republic completed, please. We'll have to worry about reform later probably, since dealing with Black Monday will be our greatest concern. State of the Army. It says here, our army is not in a very good shape. In the strife of the Russian Civil War, the forces of the Mount Republic were highly dependent on volunteers and Cossacks. After the war, most of the Cossack forces have been withdrawn, except for the Tarak Cossacks that live in the Nogai Autonomous Republic. The government of Chemayev has formed the new military forces of the North Caucasus following the Civil War, but the army lacks subsidies from the budget. In 1936, our army is still woefully underdeveloped and unready for large-scale combat and warfare. Our armed forces are in desperate need of reform and modernization from top to bottom. We need to reform the army quickly to maintain our independence. From this, we get 5% base war support, and there's a war that just broke out in China. So let me go to my focus tree. We'll now start doing balance to budget. So reading that'll take 35 days. The description states, oh my goodness gracious, our budget is an absolute mess, and Black Monday has only proven that fact. What is this about now? I'm going to have to read that focus in a moment. So what's this say? What does it say? The PSK is created. As promised before, Dezhbajev has announced the formation of a new party, the Social Democratic Party of North Caucasus. 14 deputies from the Majivs has joined the new faction in the parliament. If they unite with the OKSP, we can lose the majority, and that may be bad for us. Yeah, that's going to be rough. And I think we have a new economics minister now, I believe. Yeah, maybe. But let me go here, read this focus real quick. It says our budget is an absolute mess. Yes, all that. And Black Monday has only proven that fact, showing it to our administration and the wider public boldly. We must get our spending under control for now, or find new ways to pay for everything we splurge on. Regardless of what we do, it's apparent we can't stay in the red much longer, and this will modify Black Monday a little bit to be not as terrible. It's still going to be pretty rough though, but we got to slowly get out of that particular hole. That is something we got to strive to achieve without a doubt. And that focus will take 35 days. After that, we'll do one of these 3 focuses here. That is the game plan. We just got to recover from Black Monday. That is my #1 priority at this time. What is Georgia up to, I wonder? They're existing. Restoration of democracy in Australasia. What's going on here? Oh, Komikia is a thing. The Komik Khanate has popped into existence. It broke off of the almighty Don Host, I think. Yeah. Potentially that is what happened. So we're still waiting for that focus. We're minus 44 political power now. We're still in the negative there. I gotta get into the positive. Please, I gotta get there. It's gonna take a while though. Probably, how slow is that? Plus 0.23 a day. Oh my goodness gracious. That is so slow in how much political power we're gaining every day. A democratic cabinet in national France. So that's interesting, I guess. The election campaign begins. We got to choose a side here. The 1937 elections will be the most difficult for the ruling party of Chemayev to win. Not only has the creation of the opposite SDPSK party made things more difficult, but also the Black Monday crisis has severely damaged our popularity in the eyes of the Republic's citizens. The election campaign has started, and we will need all the luck we can get. And let's choose to vote for the SOG. We shall secure the traditions. Vote for SOG. And SOG is the party of Tapachamayev, and we want to keep them in power. That is our ultimate goal at this point. Going to the focus tree now, let's start doing support local farmers. That takes 35 days. It says here, farmers are the lifeblood of any nation, and our fair state is no different. Crops left to rot must be brought up by our state temporarily to lift our farmers up out of the dirt after the ravages of Black Monday, while new subsidies, incentives, and aid programs will be drafted in order to support our agricultural base in their future endeavors and struggles as they rebuild, and this will give us an event called Agricultural Subsidies. Now, with that said, I'm going to end what is part 1 of my Mountain Republic playthrough in the Hearts of Iron 4 mod Kaiserredux here. If you enjoyed the mod, you can check it out in the video description. The link to it is there. If you enjoyed the video itself, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe.